Hydration really is the key to happiness. Especially if you drink a lot of coffee, because coffee dehydrates you. So you need to drink even more water to compensate so that you're a happy person. Anyways, welcome back to my channel. It has kind of become, I guess, a little bit like a tradition for me at the start of every semester, once I've finalized my classes, to do a little bit of a video about what classes I'm taking this semester. So I'm going to grab my planner so I don't forget what classes I'm taking, and just kind of talk a little bit about what I am taking and whether I anticipate that I will enjoy them or not. So in case you are stumbling upon this video randomly and you don't actually know me or watch my videos, which is fair enough because like no one watches these except for me, but I am a third year honors history student, and I'm doing honors history with sort of a specialization in international relations, and this is my second bachelor's degree. I did my first bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in anthropology, so I'm just like super all up about the humanities and social sciences. I am taking 5 classes this semester. Last semester I took 4. It's the same number of credits though, because last semester I had to take one of my honors tutorials and that was double counted in credits because they are so much work. So this semester I don't have one of those because we only take 1 per academic year, not per semester. So I have 5 classes and I've just finalized them like 2 days ago, so this should be good. My first class is History of Disease, which seems a little random, seems a little scientific, but I think it's actually going to be pretty cool. I would never take like, I don't know, biology of disease or pathology or something like that because I'm just not a science student, because I would fail. But History of Disease, can I even speak English? History of Disease seems pretty cool. We're covering things from like the Black Death all the way up to AIDS and like obesity. So it's a really wide variety. Like the time period is like a really wide survey, and I actually think it's gonna be pretty cool. I haven't actually been to one of the classes yet or done any of the readings for it, so I could be entirely wrong, but I read through the syllabus and I bought the textbook and it looks pretty good. So like, who really knows in reality, but I'm optimistic that I'm going to enjoy it. In my program, we have to take 6 credits, or typically that would be 2 classes, to meet a pre-modern requirement, which is slightly unfortunate for me because I am not interested in pre-modern history and like medievalist stuff at all. I am super interested in the 20th century. However, I have to meet this requirement, so one of the classes I'm taking to do that is a second-year survey course called History of Europe, and it covers about a 500-year period. We're currently studying like Martin Luther and the Reformation, stuff like that. I have to admit, this is the class that I'm gonna like the least. Like, I just know it already. I'm not super interested in the material, but I'm taking it and I'm hoping I will learn something. I have already learned a few things because I primarily focus on the 20th century. I never really have learned too much about the way like religion interacts with politics because it doesn't as much in the 20th century. The 20th century is not nearly as religious focused as some of the earlier centuries in the world. So from that aspect, I'm kind of excited to learn about it. So I'm just sort of finding things in the class to excite me because the overall topic of it is not like super high up on my list. My next 3 classes are all upper level classes and I am excited about each of them. The first 2 are courses that I took last semester because they're full year courses. So the first one is my 3rd year honors seminar, which is quite good. It's basically the history of history, lots of different types of history. For example, the first 2 weeks of the semester we were sort of talking about the differences between social and cultural history and how social history sort of transformed into cultural history and what historians can learn from both and how we can use both and how they're similar, how they're different. So we read a lot of really interesting sources. We just read one about a cat massacre actually in Paris, which was sad and sadistic, and like it wasn't just like, oh, the cats died. It was like graphic in detail about how these people killed these cats, so that was kind of awful. But Overall, it's quite good. I have a presentation to do in that class this semester, so basically every single week we start the seminar with one person talking for 10 to 15 minutes about their readings and the themes from the readings, and then presenting questions for discussion. Then we discuss for the next like hour and 40 minutes. So you only have to do it once during the entire year, and I didn't do it last semester, so I'm going to be presenting this semester, and I'm pretty sure my topic is on colonial studies, which is interesting because it's one of the two that I asked for. So we got to send in our request, and I asked for that or something that I actually don't remember. And I am really, really interested in like colonialism and decolonization, so I think it'll be a really good week for me to present on the readings. I'm quite excited about that. And my other full year course is Soviet history, which is so good. I love Russian history. I've always loved it, and I've never really taken a full class in it, so it's really good. There are 3 girls in that class that are also, or 2 girls in that class that are also in my seminar, so we have quite a few classes together, and I love the professor. She's really good. We read really good books. We just recently watched a documentary about the siege of Leningrad, which was really interesting, and we have a creative project that we have to do this term in lieu of like a big final paper. So stay tuned for some updates on how I, as a very non-creative person, will come up with a creative university upper level history class project. Who really knows how that's gonna work? And my last course is US Government and Politics, which is really good. It's quite dry, like it's pretty basic. It's basically just an overview of US government and politics. But for someone who is really interested in US foreign policy and who is hoping to specialize perhaps going forward in US foreign policy and American history, it's an excellent course for me to be taking. The professor is very like, the first day of class, he told us not to email him if we want an extension because he doesn't want to know about our personal life problems. And he was like, just go to arts advising. If they grant you an extension, I will give it to you. I don't want to know details about your life. I was like, I love you. You're fantastic. And he was like, please do not email me. Okay. So he's pretty like, and we do pop quizzes every single class, which count for 17% of our grade, which would normally be really annoying, except his pop quizzes are super, super easy. So basically, if you're listening in his lecture, like 20 minutes later, he'll ask a pop quiz question related to something he said at the beginning. So as long as you're not a complete idiot and you attend the lectures and take notes, you'll be getting like a free 17% for that. So yeah, it's a good class, and like I said, I think because I want to go into US foreign policy as potentially a topic somewhat related to my honors thesis next year, I think it's a really good class for me to be taking. That is it for today. I will catch you guys next week with a new video. Hope you guys have a good day and a very productive week. Bye!